Gundam.tk presents God Gundam. Hey everybody, and welcome to a review of the Master Grade G or God Gundam. This is a Master Grade Gundam, and like all the other G Gundam kits, it's got fighting action under it, which basically means that it has an internal skeleton that lets you do a little bit more with it. It's an older kit, made in 2001 by Bandai. On the right you can see 2,500, and that's the price in yen, so wherever the dollar is, call it $25 roughly. Quick tour around the box. The front view shows it with its wings out in the back. Pretty colorful Gundam. There's a back view, you can see some stickers, but at the time this was a brand new idea to have an action frame like this, so it's pretty common in Master Grade today, but this is back in 2001, and it's very posable for that time. It also comes with the multiplier for the King of Hearts, and the only weapons that it comes with are 2 beam swords, and it has some machine cannons that pop out of the shoulders. Of course, it also comes with a core lander, this version of the core fighter, which snaps into the back, and you also get a figure of the pilot, Domon Kasshu, who could probably, well, never mind probably, he would whip any other Gundam pilot in a straight one-on-one fight. Outside of Gundam, I mean. The rest of the box highlights what kind of fighting action poses you can do, so arms crossed, you have shining fists out with the wings out, getting ready for a Hadouken, or the equivalent for G Gundam, kneeling, and a kick. So not bad posability. When you open up the box, the first thing that you'll notice is, with old Master Grades, is that you get an insert like this that shows off the front of the God Gundam. For the manual itself, it has a very plain cover with a silhouette, but on the back it has a back shot which goes well with the cardboard insert. When you crack it open, you get to see the story of how the G Gundam replaced the Shining Gundam. And for parts, because this is 2,500 yen, you're not going to get a lot of parts, and the plates only go up to G, with a couple of extras for antennas, etc. Directions, no problem following, although they're not as good as later ones. More poses inside, and again, because there aren't a lot of parts, there's a lot more story in this manual. Domon Kasshu, getting ready to go, and how to do the transformation, which is very, very simple. So here are the plates A through G. Something interesting about this is that it comes with clear orange parts for the shining fists, clear parts here for the cockpit, and then you have yellow, white, and then over here you have the antenna, but you also get an alternative antenna that you can use, but this is a much softer plastic. So I didn't want to use that, I went with the hard one. 2 clear green beam sabers. The hands are also all made out of soft rubber, so they're not going to be plastic like most Gundam fists, and of course this large piece is for the Domon Kasshu figure itself. A couple other things worth noting here is you get the regular stickers, but there's big black lines that you don't have to do with lining pen, you can do that with stickers. This is a very special red sticker that you put on the front for the magnifier, and you get a lot of clear stickers that you can put on the back. The only ones that you're really supposed to put on is one King of Hearts sticker, and these go on the back of the wings. And also, because this was early in inner frame construction days, there's a lot of nuts and bolts that get put into this Gundam. So these are the leftovers. You get 1 extra of each left over. Before I put it all together, I thought I'd show you a look at the internal frame for the Shining Gundam. And this is really one of the first Master Grades to have what you could call a complete inner frame like this. And though it doesn't really stand up to something new like the Gundam Mark II, it's still pretty cool. Let's take a look and see what kind of posability it has. Because of the actual screws that you put in here, a lot of these parts can be pretty tight, but that's something that you can tweak with a screwdriver. Also, I haven't put in all of the screws because I have to put the outer frame on later. So the arm, full 360. The shoulders can go up, and this piece will just slide out of the way. The elbows have the full 180, which is great to see. Now the wrist is sort of interesting because it's just down on this long peg here, but the wrist can move, but they're rubber, they're not actually made out of plastic. For the lower body itself, the legs can go out this far, and they can come all the way forward, although they're unencumbered by a waist skirt right now. And as far as for the knees, when they bend, you can see here that these pull and this piston type part pulls. But the legs can do a 180, and then down at the bottom, the ankle has a fair bit of flexibility forward and backwards. But again, that's just the skeleton without the actual armor put on. One other joint that I should have mentioned is down here on the ankle. This whole part, just above the actual ball joint, can bend, and because of that, you can pull off a kneeling position, no problem. If you get the balance right, it'll stay no problem. So, of course this comes after the ground Gundam, but having tried to kneel the ground Gundam, you can get it in if you get it just right. But this actually works out pretty well. With its heavy focus on martial arts, one of the reasons that they put the action frame into here is that you can pull off all sorts of, well, whatever fighting style you want to call it, but you can do some pretty cool stuff. Now, the question remains, even though we can do this with the action frame, can you do it with the armor on? Of course, the granddaddy of all Gundams, the first Gundam, if you buy the Master Grade version 2.0, the box you can see in the background, it has a full internal frame, and having just built that, I have to say that the new 2.0 has a much better internal frame. But this Gundam, for being made in 2002, is still very impressive, and you can tell that it, well, outside of my poor balance, that this set the standard for a lot of the things that were going to be incorporated into later Master Grades. Don't forget, for lots more reviews, you can always check out my webpage and access it through www.gundam.tk.